All right. So, welcome everyone. Just give me one quick second, guys. I'm good. I'm good. All right. So, flickering coming in. Give me just one second, guys. Just right there. Be right here. I'll be back in a second. Just. Comparatively better. Okay. Okay. All right. So, welcome everyone. This is the webinar. It's a free webinar, everyone. So this webinar is on introduction to cybersecurity. How many of you are new to this cybersecurity space? Just say yes if you are new to the cybersecurity. Say yes in the chat. Wonderful. Okay. Manish, oh, are you new to sub? Wrench, what's the admin password of Hex Security site? I'll share you. Don't worry. It's an open secret. All right. Okay. Now, Today we are going to cover a glimpse of some content. We are planning to have free sessions every week. So every week we are going to cover a new topic on cybersecurity. Okay, maybe it's the introduction to cybersecurity, or maybe introduction to incident response, malware analysis. So it's going to be fun from now onwards. We are going to cover quite a lot of topics, me and with my team as well, going to share you the practical space of cybersecurity as well, how the day in the life of cybersecurity really looks like, which cybersecurity domain you should go for, and so it's going to be a technical with some labs as well. So there are some labs expected. So be there. Try to be available on almost every sessions, and we are going to make it a live stream. So even if you miss, you can go and rewatch the video again. Okay. So we might be having. I have a limited time for today because this is the first time we are starting this technical webinar series. So, but I'll share you the agenda for the session, and let me share my screen quickly. Okay. Well, I'll be really honest, guys. So, we are going to cover quite a lot of sessions. So today's session is more focused on introduction to cybersecurity and different domains in cybersecurity. Okay, so let's talk about the today's agenda, and we are going to cover these topics, and we are going to start with what is cybersecurity, most common cyber attacks, cybersecurity team structure. Then under the team structure, I will take you through the security operations center, how the SOC really looks like, incident response team, threat hunting team, penetration testing team, and conclusion. um, it's going to be more of giving you an idea how the day in this job really looks like, so that you can make your mind, and at any moment of a time, even if you are already aware about the field, you can ask me a question that you have in your mind, and I'll try to answer. So don't keep it a one monotonous sessions. Try to ask as many questions as possible, okay, and I'll try to answer them up. Let's start with very basics, guys. This is the first two lessons will be quite basic. What is cybersecurity and most common cyber attacks as well. These lessons will be basics. Then we will going to go on some practical scenario based situation on the job skills, different tools as well. So that's a lot of content, but I'll try to keep it precise enough because we have limited time. Okay, let's begin. What is cybersecurity? Okay, so to understand cybersecurity, we have to be very confident about what is CIA triad, because cybersecurity is all about protecting your information, protecting the infrastructure, and different elements of your organization as well. What exactly are you protecting? You are protecting, or you are securing your IT assets. That could be your hardware, your software, your actual crown jewel, right? So it for manufacturing company, or for any companies like Coca-Cola, Coke, maybe their recipe is their crown jewel. For e-commerce business, their customer data is their crown jewel. That's their important aspects, right? Now, try to understand one thing. Cybersecurity can be understood very easily if you understand the CIA triad. C stand for confidentiality. Okay, this talks about preventing any unauthorized access to your data, to your network. So it could be exploited by any man in the middle attack, or it could be exploited by any unknown person performing the privilege escalation. So confidentiality is all about securing, I mean, making sure only authorized people can only access the data. It's that simple, right? But to ensure you only have authorized people accessing your organization, you have to deploy some security controls. So security controls can be encryption, security controls can be proper access control, right? For example, I want to make sure when, let's say, I'm having a chat with you on the WhatsApp. WhatsApp makes sure that the data between you and me, it's all encrypted, so that another person cannot see the message, right? So it's that simple. Second thing is, um, if you talk about access control, just like we have a security personnel in our apartment who make sure only authorized person can enter the apartment, and can visit to visit to your guest area as well. Similarly, we also need to make sure in the proper access control by using a credential, single sign-on, multi-factor authentication profile, authorization. So this all happen behind the scene. Now there is something called integrity. Integrity is all about making sure there is no unauthorized changes in the file, right? So that it's a goal of making sure only authorized people can make changes to the file in the network. One way to adapt is called hashing. Okay, how does it work? We'll talk in the advanced class maybe in the future. But for now, just understand the confidentiality and integrity is more of achieving a goal. For an organization, it could be a maturity cycle. So let's say if they fail to secure their data, maybe last month they got a data breach, so their confidentiality score won't be 100%, it probably be 70-80%, right? So that's how the CIA triad becomes a kind of a goal for the organization. Third is the availability. It's all about making sure your data available all the time, whenever needed, right? So it could be disturbed by attacks like ransomware attack, where your data become unavailable. Or recently, I'm not sure how many of you heard about CrowdStrike, because of which a lot of large organization got impacted. Airlines, logistic company got impacted as well. So this is unavailability of your data, and this also comes into cybersecurity. So the job of cybersecurity is also to make sure that your data is available all the time, right? Now, next, let's talk about the importance of cybersecurity. Of course, it's very obvious. Making sure data protection is there, business continuity is there, financial security, compliance. Now, let's talk about the most common cyber attacks. Can any one of you tell me, based on your experience? I mean, I'm not sure if you are, how many of you are already into cybersecurity. So, based on your experience, which is the most common type of cyber attacks? Maybe you have heard in the news, or if you are already working, so you might be knowing it. So, what is the most common type of cyber attacks you have heard of? Okay, good one. Perfect. Phishing email. Yes. Phishing, yes, that's 100% correct. Phishing is the most common type of cyber attack. Another one, try to share your thoughts, guys. Try to share whatever comes in your mind, based on experience, based on whatever you have heard about. I can keep on talking about the content because this is what I do every day, but I want your involvement as well, so that you remember these sessions. Okay. Ransomware, email phishing. Okay, perfect. So the right answer is just phishing. This is the first kind of attack we need to know about. First is the deceptive attempt to obtain the any sort of sensitive information from the victim by by any well-crafted email or phone call or any communication channel. So in this situation, the hacker sends an email to the victim machine, where email would be sophisticated, well drafted, that says, let's say, your password will expire in 1 day, reset your password right away. So maybe it's coming in from the university. So you click on it because this you find it very obvious and very genuine as well. So you click on it, And that's what the phishing is. You actually force the victim to click on the, maybe click on the link inside the email, right? So that's the goal achieved for the hacker. And now the next action consequence could be anything. It could be a malware getting downloaded on your machine, or adware getting downloaded on your machine, or normal virus, ransomware, anything. So that could be the next step. But it all start with a phishing email, phishing attack, right? Next kind of attack, which some of you have already mentioned, it's a ransomware attack. Now, um, have you personally, and if anyone of you have already worked on ransomware or responding to ransomware attack, do let me know in the chat. Have you ever been a victim, maybe, or responded to any ransomware attack in the past? Anyone? Say yes if you have been a victim. Say incident response if you have worked in responding the ransomware attack. Okay. No worries, it's still be relevant for everyone. So if you are interested about cybersecurity, it's gonna be really helpful. Fileless virus, yes, fileless virus can be. It's basically sits in the RAM, so it's very powerful in executing the ransomware attack. So fileless viruses are actually sitting in the RAM. It doesn't take out your actually storage, so most of the time hidden. So most of the time, APT, advanced persistent threat, take advantage of it. Perfect. All right, so how exactly it works? So ransomware attack where the user send an email to the victim machine again, and he open up the Google, email opens up. Someone click on it. All of your system machine get encrypted, and now once your system get encrypted, all of your file become invalid, right? And you get a banner on your desktop saying that all of your files are encrypted now. In order to get the access to your file back, you need to pay a ransom amount. Okay, and then we'll give you a key which can be used to get your data back. So you pay a amount in Bitcoin and you get the key at the end, and that's how you get the access to your data back, right? So that's how the ransomware attack works. Next, DDoS attack. It's again a very common type of attack. In this kind of attack, the target machine, the victim machine, get overwhelmed with uh, so much with the with the fake traffic that it won't be able to serve any genuine user in that case, right? So that's a DDoS attack where a hacker basically send a lot of fake traffic to the victim machine in such a way that it won't be able to serve any genuine user, right? Next type of attack is called insider threat. So this is a security risk which is exploited by the insider computers as well, insider employees as well, right? So that could lead to data breaches, intellectual property threat, and many other attempts as well. Okay, so this is the most common type of cyber attack, right? So now let's talk about some common cybersecurity team structure. How many of you are already working in a cybersecurity? If you are, just tell me your role currently. If you are already working in a cybersecurity role, just tell me your cybersecurity role. What's your designation? Say that in the chat. Okay, I understand. Just go to your Wi-Fi and find out the user. It's that simple. Okay. Uh, let's start with the cybersecurity team structure. First thing is there are different teams in the cybersecurity. We have defensive team, we have offensive team, we have GRC team, and then we have security architect, right? So this is the major components in the cybersecurity. Uh, so basically, start with the defensive. Today, we are going to focus majorly on the defensive team and the offensive team. Defensive is the ethical hacking or pen testing domain, and defensive team is the you know more it's called as blue team. It's work on defending the attacks, defending your network from the real world attack, right? So that's how it really works. In defensive team, today we are going to make it very simplified, and we are not going to go in much deeper, but try to understand major points here. In defensive team, we have majorly three types of team. First is the SOC, or you could say SOC analyst, and second is the incident response team or incident analyst team. Third is the threat hunting team. Okay. Now, security operations center is basically it's a team or a facility where you get the live attacks. You can see the live attack to your organization, and it's up to you to respond them based on the priority or based on different situation, right? So basically, if you look at the SOC has multiple activity involved. It works on security operation, mitigating the alerts, alert management, incident management, and aggregating all the logs. There are multiple tools used in the SOC. These tools are SIM solutions. Uh, SIM is basically collects all the logs, all the events, security events from all the devices from the network. It could be your antivirus, it could be your desktop, servers, application, databases, everything from the network, right? And then you have an EDR. So EDR is there are different vendor, CrowdStrike, Sentinel-1, Microsoft Defender endpoint. So these are all comes under the EDR solution. Now, the job of an EDR is to respond to any attack on the endpoint, right? So the job is to protect the endpoint, but XDR has the extended capability, which so works on responding to servers and you other it collects, not just focus on the endpoint but also focus on different IoT devices, servers, and mobile devices as well. Okay, next we have IDS solution. It's called intrusion detection solution. So it's basically focus on detecting anomalous behavior. SOAR is the security operation and automation solution, which works on automating different security activity so that your SOC analyst, the company SOC analyst can focus on what is really relevant at that moment of a time, right? Threat intelligence to collect the information about the threat and different campaign and some based on different it could be tactical intelligence, it could be strategic intelligence, depending on who is actually going to consume. So let's say your organization is into the financial services and there are some attack campaign or hacker campaign going on in the same industry. So now you need all the information about that campaign so that you can protect yourself. So it could be related to the IP address, or it could be domain, FQDN, hash, campaign information, country, everything, right? ITSM is just for managing different incidents. Now, there are different level of SOC or SOC team, I would say. Uh, there is SOC level 1, SOC tier 1, I would say, and there is SOC tier 2. Level 1 basically perform initial monitoring and performing the triage, okay? So they perform the primary diagnosis, but they majorly work on the initial triage. So making sure it's not a false positive, it's a genuine alert, and then if it is really a genuine alert, they create an incident and assign it to the tier 2 team. Basically, tier 2 team itself is called as incident response team, okay? And that's what we are going to learn in the next step. But for now, just remember the the incident response team is the tier 2 SOC analyst, tier 2 as well. And tier 3 is the one which focus on proactive threat hunting activity. Now, when we talk about the incident response, this is handled by the tier 2, as I said, but they also do quite a lot of other activity. What are those? We'll learn in the incident response phase, but for now, just remember, whenever there is a genuine alert and it needs the additional activity, it goes to the incident response team or tier 2 team. Now let's talk about what are the different skills required to become a SOC analyst level 1, or what skills you need to get a job in as a SOC analyst tier 1 engineer, right? So you need to have a knowledge on IT networking. You should know Linux servers, Windows, cloud, web fundamentals, and log analysis. This is very, very important. Okay. Now let's talk about the incident response. This is also called as level 2. As I said, they manage the uh yeah, I mean, I think I covered all the tools, right? I'm not sure if you have seen that. So these are all the tools: SIM, EDR, IDS, SOAR, threat intelligence, right? So you can take a snapshot as well if you want. Next, manage the aftermath of security breaches. So if it's a very genuine alert or incident, it goes to the incident response team or the level 2 team. They are also called as tier 2 or level 2 team. So they are also called as SOC level 2 team. They are responsible for performing the incident response. Well, incident response is what? I mean, it's basically a process. An engineer working in the incident response or as an incident analyst work on mitigating the alert, or maybe, reducing the overall damage onto the network by responding as fast as possible. For example, let's say there is a possible we have a ransomware attack and it's been verified by the level 2 level 1 team. Now it comes to the incident response team. Their job is to make sure they eradicate the ransomware from the network as fast as possible. Okay, but doing that, there has to be certain process that need to be followed. The engineer also need to understand what is the overall impact by this ransomware. Is it only the one machine which is impacted, or there are multiple machine which got impacted, right? And we also have to collect some evidences so that in future, if we have to submit those information to regulatory bodies or government or somewhere, we should have some evidence, right? So there is a process which start with the preparation, where you need to make sure you deploy all the necessary information tools, different playbooks, workflow teams as well. Identification is done by the level 1 team who detect those ransomware attacks, or it also includes your tools as well, like your SIM tools or your EDR tool, which actually detect or identify the ransomware attack in the first place. Then goes to the containment. In the COVID situation, I guess you remember what was the containment, right? So if someone get impacted by the virus, or by the malware, it has the victim itself has to be contained, right? It has to be contained. So for that, this is the first thing which need to be done. If we have uh, observe that the machine is actually infected by the ransomware, we have to isolate the machine from the network so that it won't spread to the rest of the machine. But before that, we also do some pre-checks. We need to understand if it is just one machine impacted, or there are three, four, or hundreds of machines are also impacted. So that's need to be done. Next, eradication. We make sure we eradicate the malware from the machine. For this, we either remove the malware, which doesn't work in most of the cases, but we most of the time have to format the machine altogether. Then recovery phase, once the machine is clean, then we take them back to the network, and finally we create the report. So that's all done by the incident response. They also perform the digital forensic. They may also do the threat intelligence lookup or malware analysis in order to execute that. This is an example of phishing attack. I'll give you this example test for you to learn and understand how the phishing attack respond would really looks like. So I'm giving it to you. Tell me in the chat later on maybe what would be the different step at every level in the identification, in containment, in eradication and recovery and lesson learned. Just tell me, in case of phishing attack, what would be the different stages, what would be the different activities and incident response analyst need to do, or SOC analyst level 2 need to do. Okay, what are the different tools used by the SOC analyst level 2? The first, again, common one, SIM tool. In EDR, we have multiple tools. CrowdStrike, which is, of course, many of you might be knowing it. CrowdStrike, Falcon, Sentinel-1, Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, and Carbon Black. Why I'm saying this? Because if you are planning to get a job, this is what you should be familiar about. Forensic tools. You should be familiar with Wireshark to perform network forensic, TCP dump for network forensic, OS query to retrieve the information about process and everything. This can even be done by the XDR or EDR, but these are all open source and free tools. Volatility, it's used for the memory forensics as well. Threat intelligence, you should be familiar. There are multiple threat intelligence tools from IBM Force, then Virus Total. These are popular one. Malware analysis, AnyRun, Virus Total, Kindra, P Studio. These are all free tools available. You can go and check out. Okay. Awesome. What are the required skills to get a job as an incident analyst or SOC analyst level 2? Okay, the first skill you must have is the network and system forensics. You should know how to do that. When I say forensics, even if you know how to do the network or system log analysis, it's fine. Or event analysis, it's fine. Malware analysis, analytical skill, report writing. These are the very, very important skills you must have. Okay, so this is about the incident response. Let's talk about the threat hunting. Threat hunting is not reactive threat hunting, as if when you have to find the threat, you have to detect the threat once you are impacted. This is a proactive threat hunting with an impression, with an assumption that you are already compromised. So that's altogether a different team who start looking for the threat even if you are not compromised. Might sound very weird, but yes, this actually reduces the detection time for the network to find the threat. They start their work with an hypothesis or with an assumption that network is already compromised, and they are called as SOC level 3 team. So their objective is to perform early detection, minimize the impact, and improve the defenses in the network, right? The process include multiple steps, but this is the very generic. I have also mentioned that in my book. You can check out my book on Amazon, which is on security monitoring with Vasu. So I've covered this process in my book as well. Starting with hypothesis, then we collect the data from all the endpoints, to perform the data analysis, investigate, and respond to those threats, right? You can also refer MITRE ATT&CK framework, which consists of list of all attack campaigns and their different techniques, procedures, and tactics as well. Different tools used for it: SIM, EDR, IDS, threat intelligence tool. I've already covered that. For required skills, there is a data analysis. You should know about how to perform data analysis. For performing data analysis, you also need to be aware about how to collect the data altogether from in the first place. For that, you can leverage SIM solution or EDR tools. Network traffic analysis, you have Wireshark, TCP dump, T-Shark. These tools can be used. IDS is very, very important. It's the most important thing to perform threat hunting. IDS solution could be Suricata IDS, not IDS. This you can very well use. In the enterprise network, they collect the data by using the tap devices, like Gigamon is the one of the example. You should have a knowledge about scripting, majorly Python scripting. Okay, attack methodology or critical thinking. Of course, that's the key, right? Was it clear for everyone? Just was this clear for everyone that what SOC level 1, level 2, and level 3 really looks like? If it was clear, just say clear in the chat. And if you have any question, do let me know in the comment section. I'll try to answer that. Is that clear for everyone? Say clear in the chat. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Sayed. Splunk Enterprise Security is heavily used. This is used for threat hunting. It's used for incident response as well. So yeah, absolutely. Only thing is the actual incident response need to be done by the EDR at the end. But yeah, I mean, some level of incident response can be done with the enterprise security as well. You get a lot of information, you get the data from the endpoint, but for threat hunting, for sure, it's Splunk Enterprise is very, very helpful. Bharadwaj, I'll see Bharadwaj. This is not a slide, by the way. This is altogether a different software, so I won't be able to share this in the form of slide or something, right? You can attend the webinar. We are going to conduct this webinar almost every week on a different topic. So if you are interested, you can join the webinar and we'll. This is what we are. I mean, this currently we have planned to make it public for everyone to see and learn. But after like a month or two, we are going to do a Zoom meeting where only those who have registered the webinar will be able to access the content. So make sure whenever there is a notification or any event coming in, so you register to webinar, right? Next, offensive security. Of course, I'm 100% sure many of you are already heard about it, know about it. Ethical hackers, people in hoodies and everything. This is what it is, right? A penetration tester. Uh, I'm so excited. Yeah, wonderful, Syed. More power to you. I've also created many home labs and free home labs. You can check out my GitHub as well for the same. Now, next, very, very, very precisely, very quick penetration tester. What's the penetration testing really looks like? So, well, you see, penetration testing is all about simulated cyber attack. So, this is where the engineer or the professionals working with the organization and working as a penetration tester, basically they perform the simulatory attack. Okay, they simulate the actual attack before the attacker can do. Okay, the real attacker can do. Okay, so they simulate the attack and see if it is really exploitable. So they identify the vulnerability. That's the first thing that they do, and that they are also, as I said, they are also known as the ethical hacker. They do it for improving the security, and then they exploit those vulnerability to see if it is really that serious, right? Regular assessment is also done by the pen testers. What are the different responsibility they have? They assist in the testing, security testing. There are two types of security testing. I mean, I guess most of you might not be knowing. From the enterprise point of view, there is a static testing, which is SAST. There is a dynamic testing as well, which is DAST. There's a secure code and a review as well. So these are all done by mostly some advanced tools like Checkmarks is the enterprise tool. There are tools like OWASP Zap, Burp Suite. These are all used for these kind of a testing. But Checkmarks is very, very popular. And on the similar level, you can also opt for OWASP Zap. So this is again open source. Once you perform the testing, then you document the finding, then do you develop the reports, you utilize multiple tools as I just said and follow different procedures and continuous learning. So this is what it's been covered in the responsibility. In order to become a penetration tester or ethical hacker and get a job, just wear hoodie. Okay, I'm kidding, come on. So basically what people are doing is basically the first thing that they think of is start hacking machine, start hacking windows, start hacking wi-fi. Just they think that now they are eligible to get a job. Now I'm eligible to get a job. Hacking wi-fi and hacking windows machine will not help you land any job, guys. Trust me. Pen testing itself is a very niche field because there are not a lot of open position or job opportunity available. I'm actually mean it, right? See, point is the most of the job opportunities are available in the defensive team. That's why I recommend most of the people who want to get into cybersecurity start with defensive team, and then once you get at least a year of experience, then you can plan to get into the offensive security field. To get a better job as a penetration tester in the first place itself, you have to make sure you are very sincere and learning what is really relevant for that domain. Start with learning IT networking, learn about Linux servers, learn about Windows machine altogether, have some understanding about Python scripting, and JavaScript is must because most of the application that you would be testing, those are all based on JavaScript. You should have a security fundamental knowledge. You should know what is CIA triad. Remember, this is the first question most of the interviewers ask. And if even if you know how to use advanced tools and but you don't know what is CIA triad, it doesn't make sense for them, right? So always remember this. Also, get confident with different tools. Learn about Burp Suite. Learn what is Google Docking, just for example. Learn about Metasploit framework, the exploitation framework, right? So these are all the skills required for these domains, and these are the two major domain in the cybersecurity, as I just explained you guys as well. First is the defensive team. Second is the offensive team. Third is the GRC team, and fourth is security architect. So GRC team is basically responsible in managing the organization compliance requirements. So they involve in managing different security programs internally, performing internal audit, external audit. Uh, there are every industry, every organization, somewhere or the other, is falling under a specific regulatory compliances. For example, if the company you are working for is into financial service, maybe they are um, storing or processing or accepting credit card information or payment card, so they have to follow all the requirements of PCI DSS compliance. Let's say an organization is doing a business in EU region or European countries, they have to follow GDPR compliances, right? If a company is providing healthcare services in United States, they have to follow HIPAA compliance. In India as well, we have if you look at, I mean, in United States, in fact, every state have their own compliances. SOX is very popular out there. SOC 2 compliance is also very, very popular. So this is what a GRC team basically work on. They perform the risk assessment. They work on compliance activity. I've created an entire course on ISO 27001 as well, which is the part of my ultimate SOC analyst. In case you are interested, you can check out my LinkedIn page or homepage or on my YouTube bio as well. Okay. Fourth is security architect. This is where you will learn how these security solutions are deployed, how to deploy a security solutions in the network. Maybe deploying firewalls, maybe deploying EDR solution. Because remember, at the end, defensive team, for them, the EDR, they are the user of EDR solution. They are the user of SIM solution, but they don't really deploy or integrate anything onto those tools. This is all done by the security architect or security engineer. So it's their responsibility to make sure the tools are working as expected without any trouble. So that's what security architect is involved into. Is that clear with everyone? If you have any question, do let me know in the chat. If you're clear, just say clear in the chat. Bharadwaj, are these labs available for all the tools specified in the? Yes, absolutely. Give me 1 second. Let me share you my GitHub labs. So there are multiple labs that I created. You can find all the labs for free on my GitHub repository. Check this out. I just shared you on the chat. This is my GitHub repository. I'm also showing you in here. Okay, so this is my GitHub repository. You can visit here. There are more than 55 home labs where each home lab cover at least 5 exercises. Okay, I need Spanish. Okay, I'll try for sure. How to become a security architect or engineer? Do you need extensive knowledge in IT and networking? To be really honest, yes, I won't lie, but for a security engineer, you won't need a lot of experience, but for security architect, you definitely need that, right? Of course, Upar, many of my students who got the job, they actually uploaded my labs as a project because as a fresher or maybe someone as an IT professional who want to get into cybersecurity have no experience in cybersecurity projects, right? So they add these labs as a project, and trust me, I mean every month I get 7 or 8 people breaking into cybersecurity in my community. So this is working, and this works. This works actually. So yeah. Any other questions, guys? I have no work experience. I newly graduated from BSc. I have learned about cybersecurity from past 3 years by YouTube online. I don't have Sarvanan, I mean, trust me, if you want to get into offensive security and you have already spent 3 years watching YouTube, you need a framework, man. I mean, just by watching YouTube video is not going to helpful because you are going to, I mean, you can't just keep learning everything. At the end, you need to get a job in order to tell everyone that yes, I do have a real world experience, because people are only going to appreciate and going to invite you for the interview if you have a real world experience. So stop learning more and more every day. Just focus on what is really relevant based on your skill and then go for a job. Okay, I have created entire roadmap for this, which is free webinar where I cover that in Saturday around 7 p.m. Eastern time. You can check out that webinar link in my all of my posts on my LinkedIn. So that would be really helpful for you. Can you respond on my about question? First of all, I don't see your actual name. I'm going to say what I see. It's Psycho. So yeah, Psycho. I don't see your any other comment here. Okay, yeah, I do see. Sir, which basics are must to get into defensive? I think I have already shared you the basic skills. So if you are starting in the beginning, so you need to be familiar with this basic skills. SOC analyst level 1. So you should be familiar with IT networking, learn OSI model, learn TCP IP, learn Linux servers, Windows servers, cloud, web fundamentals, and log analysis. You should learn to do the log analysis using using multiple tools like Splunk or ELK, or maybe if you're doing, you get familiar with the different logs. I've already published a video on Linux log analysis. It's completely free course. I've already made a video on Splunk log analysis completely for free. Just check out my YouTube channel. I've already published all of them. It's enough for at least for the SOC level 1 role or SOC analyst role. Okay. So it's all there on my YouTube channel. Go watch it. I think you will love it. Sir, will you provide video for further purpose? I'm sorry, I didn't get you. I mean, what purpose, if you can be very specific? Ritesh, CHC12 practical, can I get a job? There are chances. I mean, I recently helped few of my students to get into a job recently with just with these certificates, CEH and Security Plus certificates. So they got a job in Geo. You can also do it, but make sure you are confident in clearing the interviews first. Getting the certificate is not a challenge, at least with the CEH, but the real problem happens in the interview. So at least be comfortable in answering the interviews, have a proper resume, be confident when you talk, prepare all the direct and scenario based questions for the interview, and you should be fine. Sorry, that's what your name is, or probably you try changing your YouTube name. Um, this is what the basic skills I just shared with you. SOC analyst tier one. Probably this should be helpful. Okay, you can probably take a snapshot, and this would be the fundamental skills you should start with. Okay. Anybody who is interested to get into SOC analyst career, I'm also sharing you my course, so you can also see that. And there are list of other courses as well in the SOC analyst, on also my upcoming webinar. So you can also see all of my upcoming webinar for cybersecurity to get a cybersecurity job in 90 days. Uh, there's a I'm sharing you my bio link. In that bio, you can find the upcoming webinar as well. So you can check out my link. I've shared the link in the comment section. Okay. All right. So can you explain the network security in brief for defensive role? Network security is not really, because network security, whenever we say network security, it is actually a firewall engineer role. It is majorly handled, I mean, most of the time they don't really involve in the defending the attacks or defending your network from any attack. They are more involved into setting up the firewall, setting up the solutions. I'm not sure if you heard about SD-WAN, SASE solutions. They are involved in creating firewall rules, security rule, NAT rule, antivirus rule, anti-spyware rules, setting up the remote access VPN, configuring IPsec tunnel. So this is all being handled by the network security professional or engineer. Okay. Would I be able to get a job? Sayed, your question is, let me highlight this on the screen. I have 7 years of experience in irrelevant field, travel supervisor. I'm looking to get into cybersecurity. I'm currently learning Splunk Enterprise CrowdStrike for ADRs. This is pretty good. Yes. Would I be able to get a job? For sure. I can't assure you can get a level 2 job initially, but level 1 for sure. Yes, I mean, there are chances you will definitely be able to get a level 1 job. Where are you based in? I mean, Syed, I mean, are you in India, in US, or any other country? Hyderabad, okay. Learn. I mean, it is possible and it's not a big challenge. So, yes, there are good chances for sure. Okay. All right, so time is up, guys. So, in case you still have any question, you can reach out to me on my LinkedIn account. I've shared that on my YouTube channel. So, you can reach out to me on my LinkedIn. I will answer each of your questions. I would love to answer that. So, don't worry. Sage Gaming, okay, let me answer this questions. Without certification, can I get a job in this domain? Yes or no, but it depends. If you have zero experience, I highly suggest go for certification. How would anybody trust on you? I mean, why would someone? I mean, this shows that you are really serious about doing something in this field, right? So do the certification. There's a lot of debate happening on the LinkedIn as well, whether it is good or not. But I personally suggest do it, because this is this shows that you are really serious about this domain. Okay, and you will learn at the end. I learn network operating systems, Ping. I mean, you should learn Splunk SIM and everything around it. Upar, yes, the sorry, the course is paid. You can check out the pricing, Indian pricing, when you click on the link. So the course is paid. There are around 12 plus courses. It's a course bundle which covers GRC, offensive security, defensive security as well. The question is why I've covered offensive security in the SOC analyst role, because I want you to have a visibility about how the offensive security or pen testing really looks like from that field as well. So I have added an introduction to the pen testing as well with many of the labs. Okay, so it's full of hands-on. I think you will definitely be getting a lot of help. What is your opinion on Coursera courses? What do you prefer? I mean, if you are in India, go for CH. If you are in outside India, go for CompTIA. In India, most of the organization prefer CH. If you are outside India, I mean in United States, most of my students are in US and in Europe. So CompTIA Security Plus is very, very recognizable over there. But if you are in India, based on my experience, I talk to a lot of recruiters. They prefer CH for some reason, so go for CH. All right, so I think that was good. So do share me how do share me your feedback. How did you like this? Share, you can write me on my LinkedIn page, or if you have any questions, you can connect me on my LinkedIn DM. It's open for everyone. So yeah. Thank you so much for having me here, guys. We'll catch you later then. Thank you.